everybody, today I'm going to talk about the top 12 things I like to bring camping with me. Hey, welcome to Two Camping Gurus. If you like camping in the great outdoors, you are in the right place. Alright, number one is a first aid kit. I don't care where you're going or what you plan on doing, a first aid kit should be high on your list to make sure you have with you so you have quick access to something if something minor were to happen, or even major. You can still alleviate a lot of bigger situations with a very basic and simple first aid kit. The number two thing I always have with me when I'm camping, whether I'm camping in a camper, dry camping, a tent, whatever, is matches. You want to be able to have a way to start a fire. Now, of course, there's all kinds of ways you can do that. I have other videos on it, but matches just make it easier. And you can waterproof the matches. There's all kinds of tips and tricks of that. Great videos for those type of things. But have some matches with you. So if something were to happen, especially if you're backcountry camping, you have a way to start a fire to keep warm. As well as at a regular campground, you want to be able to start your campfire anyways. And lots of times these little things are the things you forget. So the number three thing to have with you is your phone charger. So these are one of those things that are often forgotten because it's something small and then you never unhook it from where it is. At least I don't. Some people have another one in their car, which that might solve their problem. But try to put together a list of these kind of unusual things that you could easily leave your house without. And for me, that is a phone charger. I always try to make sure I have that packed and in the vehicle ready to go so I can have a fully charged phone when I need it. All right, number four is a flashlight and batteries, unless you have a solar one, and then there's hybrids between them as well. But a flashlight or some way to have some sort of light, a lantern, something like that is always important to have, especially if you are, tent camping and stuff like that. You want to have a flashlight so you're not tripping over guy wires of your tent, or if you're in a campground and you have to go use the bathroom facilities or something like that, you don't want to be tripping over rocks. A flashlight is an essential thing to have with you when you're camping, no matter what kind of camping you're doing. Number five thing I like to have with me is an emergency radio. And the one I have is one that you can crank or plug in to charge, and it's solar. So I can always use it no matter what. Sometimes I have trouble sleeping at night too, so it's great. I can crank that thing up, put it on a radio station, and listen to it, and it's not using any power from my camper, especially if I'm boondocking or things like that. But if there's going to be bad weather or something like that, I have it set that it'll automatically come on and tell me that there's bad weather on the way. So an emergency radio is a great thing to have with you, but I recommend getting a good one if you're going to do it, because if you get a cheap one, they just don't seem to last. I've had a couple of cheaper ones. So get yourself a good emergency radio. Number six, and these are not in order of priority because this one is huge, it should be probably number two, and that is water. Make sure you have a way to have fresh water with you. Bring tanks, gallon jugs, whatever. Again, this is going to be depend on what kind of camping you're doing. Are you in a tent? Are you at a campground where you have plenty of access to water? But make sure you have it with you. And if you don't have the capacity to carry a lot of water, make sure you have some way to purify or filter water that you could have access to while you are out and about. The number seven thing that I always have with me is a small toolkit. Screwdriver, pliers, wrench, these type of things. You never know when you're going to have to fix something small. Even one of those little multi-tool knife things is a fantastic thing to have with you to deal with a lot of little situations, a screw loose or this or that, that you might have to deal with. If you don't think about bringing some sort of small toolkit with you, it could, something very small could turn into a headache for your whole camping trip. So put some thought into that. Make sure you have yourself a small, little, handy toolkit to deal with your everyday issues that you might have to have a tool for. Number eight is duct tape. Duct tape can be used for a whole pile of different things, from closing a small cut if you don't have a Band-Aid with you, which you should if you have your first aid kit, all the way to fixing a tent pole or a small leak in a tent or an awning. You can use it as a little emergency patch. It's certainly not an end-all way to fix it, but it could get you by in a pinch, and there's all kinds of other things that you can use duct tape for while you're out camping. So a small roll of that is easy to tuck away. If you're in a tent, keep in your car. If you're in a camper, you can put it in one of your cubbies underneath. But have it with you. You'll be able to find, you'll be surprised at how many things you can find to use duct tape for when you're out and about. Number 9 is zip ties. Now zip ties are another one of those little small items that don't take up hardly any space, but could solve a lot of small problems for you when you're out and about, such as wires getting caught on things. Let's say you're setting something up and they're always tangled, you can zip tie a few wires out of the way. Or if you have a tent string that breaks or something like that, you can use the zip tie it to the tent pole, and a whole pile of other things you can use zip ties for. They're very lightweight, they're easy to carry, easy to stow away. Have yourself a dozen of them stashed somewhere. You won't use them forever, and then all of a sudden you're going to have a situation, oh wait, I have those zip ties, and you can go grab them and fix a problem that you may not be able to if you did not have them with you. So zip ties, have with you. Number 10. Now this is another important one that I would actually move up. If you're going to do this as in a list of priority, it should not be down at number 10, and that is a knife. You want some sort of a camping knife, survival knife, or whatever, so that you can whittle small wood if you have to get yourself some small stuff to start a campfire, or just to whittle wood to pass some time away if you like doing that. If you're tent camping, that might be the only knife you have to cut food and things along those lines. If you're fishing, you can use it to clean fish. So a multi-purpose knife is a must-have when camping, no matter what kind of camping you're doing. Number 11 is more geared towards if you are RV camping, and that is rubber gloves. If you're going to be doing black tank and gray tank flush and draining, have a box of rubber gloves handy, because as we know, that stuff is nasty, and you want to be able to keep your hands clean, bacteria and all those kind of things. Lower the chances of getting sick or something while you're out camping. So rubber gloves are a great way to do that. You can just peel them off, throw them away, and then go wash your hands and stuff after the fact. But they really help quite a bit in dealing with draining your hoses and your tanks. Those hoses are never perfectly clean, so rubber gloves helps keep your hands clean in those situations. And number 12, again, this is not order priority, because this probably ought to move up a little bit too, and it's not something you think of if you're going out camping. You're hoping you're going to have beautiful weather and have a great time, light campfires and deal with all kinds of, Mother Nature, but with that comes rain. So have some rain gear, some sort of rain gear. What if you're driving down the road, it starts pouring out and you get a flat tire? You are going to be soaked. But if you have some sort of rain gear you can put on, deal with the flat tire, take that off when you get back in the unit. You can then continue your trip in dry clothes very easily, especially if you're tent camping, because you don't really have a place to change. If you're in a camper, then you could probably get in there and change, but have some rain gear. You never know when you're going to need it. Poncho is very lightweight, easy to roll up and stow away, and when you need it, it's there. Alright, these are my top 12 things that I like to make sure I have with me when I head out camping. There are a whole host of other things you must have with you too, but these are just some things to get you started. If you're a seasoned camper or you're brand new and just getting ready to head out on your own, you can click on the link just below this video, and that's going to get you access to a free ebook as well as a printable pre-trip checklist. And the link to that is pretripchecklist.gr8.com, or again, just click on the link and you can get that. As always, I hope you liked this video. I hope you found it entertaining. If nothing else, please comment, like, subscribe, and as always, happy camping.